Man, what a game, what a game, what a game. Stressful, but a gutsy win. Raptors beat the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 3, a must-win for the Raptors, 118-112 in double overtime. And man, did it take everything out of everybody to win this game. Some bad calls by the refs on both sides. If you look into the tape, Kawhi Leonard's double dribble on the dunk in double OT. And then Giannis's traveling all over the court throughout the game. And then some slight 50-50 calls. Pascal Siakam driving on Giannis. Bang, bang call. It went our way. And Giannis fouls out. Big move there. Then Kyle Lowry picking up some questionable calls. And Norman Powell getting a questionable foul after Brook Lopez pushes him down on their screening. And you know what? The refs aren't perfect, but I believe it's almost even if the Raptors did get a little bit of the lower side of the calls. But you know what? Power through the playoffs. Refs ain't perfect. And the Raptors did just that. They managed to come through and win this game. And it took everything out of the Raptors. Since Norman Powell fouled out and Kyle Lowry fouled out. And Kyle Lowry fouled out in the fourth quarter on a Giannis putback when Giannis wrapped his arm around him and then yanked him up. So that was a tough call to Kyle Lowry to swallow there. But without Kyle Lowry on the court, the offense was stagnant, didn't get good looks. But somehow, some way, the Raptors grinded away. And Kawhi Leonard came with some huge plays. Marcus saw a big three. Van Vliet and Danny Green, the only buckets of the game, came at a clutch time. Van Vliet in regular time hit a big three. And then Danny Green in overtime hit a big three. Both guys only made one shot all game long. And that was their big moments. But man, Marcus Saul, kudos to him. I thought he was going to get the yank for the first two games. But as a savvy veteran with tons of experience, Nick Nurse relied on his center, and he came through big time, aggressive in the first quarter, knocked down two big threes, knocked down another jumper, and then was aggressive in the post, found Siakam for a beautiful dime, and was just passing expertly all game long and efficiently scoring. He had a great line, 16, 12, and 7 from Marcus Gasol, his best line throughout the playoffs by far. And honestly, he showed up and showed out. I didn't even mention the 5 blocks that he had, especially helping out on Giannis and then making sure he got back to Brook Lopez. He did a great job on both sides of the court, and he was huge because the Raptors really needed him since Van Vliet, Danny Green, and Serge Ibaka had terrible games in this one. Those three combined to go 4 of 29 from the field. Just a poor effort by those guys. Just could not get the ball in the basket. And Serge Ibaka was left open for threes, and he hit the toughest one, that buzzer beater at the end of the half, which was huge. Gave us a 7-point lead instead of a 4-point lead, and really gave the Raptors a little bit of a cushion in that second half. But the second half, the Raptors offense went to shit. 38 points in 2 quarters, just not good enough. But they did grind it out in that overtime and second OT. Raptors had multiple opportunities to close this game out. Kawhi Leonard had a couple shots that he missed, and then Pascal Siakam had a shot that he missed. Raptors had chances to win this game, but just could not get it done. An ill-advised shot by Chris Middleton. I thought when he pulled up from 3, when there was around 3 Raptors around him hoping for a foul, was a bad shot for the Bucks. It gave the Raptors a chance to win this game, and the Raptors didn't come through. Chris Middleton did come up with a big basket to send it to OT. Raptors, Danny Green got the block initially, but it came right back to him and he hit it. Tons of bounces going both ways, but the Raptors, Kawhi Leonard came up huge in double OT, defensively and offensively. He had 8 points in that double OT. The Bucks as a team had only 9 points, and the Raptors had 15 points in the second OT to win it. Pascal Siakam, a great game, great bounce back game from him, even though he missed 3 huge free throws to seal this game away. That could have ended the game right there, but he did miss them, and he made up for it with his play in that OT and double OT. He had 25 points, 11 rebounds in this game on 9 of 18 shooting, made his 3-point shots, just didn't make his free throws when it needed to happen. But he did hit a couple free throws down the stretch. But he's improving his game, and he found some things that he could work on and work off of for the next game. But it was a tough game overall. If Kyle Lowry was playing, this could have been a different game if he didn't get fouled out. I think the Raptors would have won it easier, but losing him was huge because VanVleet wasn't playing well. But VanVleet, gotta give it up to him. His defense was good, and he came up with that huge 3 in regulation, but he's got to knock down the shot more. The main reasons why the Raptors won this game: first off, aggressive Marc Gasol was huge. He set the tone early. He was aggressive, and after he made a couple shots, then he could get those pump fakes on, drive into the lane, and create some good opportunities. In the second half, he was more hesitating and going back to the old Gasol, but he's got to be aggressive, stay aggressive. That's when the Raptors are at their best. An aggressive Siakam, straight off the gate, he challenges Giannis and scores on him, and he hit some big hook shots and little floaters in the lane over Giannis in this game to give the Raptors a couple big baskets down the stretch. Third, it goes without saying, Norman Powell. Playoff Powell was amazing. Just came out of the gate with energy. He was the first guy off the bench. Another adjustment by Nick Nurse, and he was fantastic. He came out, shot a 3, made it, drove into the lane, made great cuts. Defensively, he was solid, and he made big baskets when the Raptors really needed it. 19 points from Norman Powell off the bench was massive, and he got to the podium. That's how good he was. And man, he was fantastic. He fouled out though on a tough call, a bad call. But you know what? The Raptors really picked it up and supported him, and he came out fantastic. Raptors really needed Norman Powell to step up because a lot of guys didn't tonight. As the Raptors need to get more effort from Norman Powell and everybody else to win this series. It's going to be tight. Fourth, adjustments. Nick Nurse, hats off to you. You bleed to Marc Gasol, and it worked out. He threw Kawhi Leonard as the main defender on Giannis, and it worked out perfectly because Giannis had one of his worst games. 5 of 16 from the floor, 12 points, a playoff low, and he did have 23 rebounds, which is a playoff career high for Giannis, but he did have 8 turnovers. The doubles were good. Marc Gasol doubled, great. Siakam also was like a secondary defender whenever Kawhi Leonard needed to get a break, but they did a great job on Giannis, which is huge because when he's not having his greatest game and when he gets fouled out, their offense is very easy to predict, and they don't really have a guy who can break you off the dribble as great as Giannis does. So the guys just stayed at home on the shooters and let them shoot over the top of them, which the Bucks struggled in that double OT when the Raptors won that game. And the last reason, and it goes without saying, the defense. The defense was great. Just steady all day long, bend but do not break, and they did just that. And the defense really keeps you in the game. Even though your offense wasn't great, your defense was solid. The Bucks shot 11 of 44 from 3, 25%, and that's all your defense. They shot 10 of 20 in that first half. They went 4 of 24 in the rest of the game, and that's just your defense clocking in on their shooters, making sure they don't get any freedom. They have to step off their spot up shooting and maybe dribble to the side or run up and pump fake and stuff like that. Make them think a little bit before they shoot it, and that was great. Great contest by Marc Gasol, Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, all of them just running out and chasing these guys. Great effort by everybody, multiple efforts, and that's what you need from your defense. Problems did exist in this game. First off, rebounding. Rebounding is still not good enough. You gotta get the Bucks to only have one opportunity to shoot the basketball. Giannis was dominating the Raptors on the boards, and there was a late game free throw rebound that the Raptors lost where Giannis and Brook Lopez were fighting for the boards. It leads to a George Hill 3 to tie the game up, which was a huge momentum shift right there. But the Raptors did hang on. The rebounding has got to get better. Everybody's got to team up and get on the boards. Use your bodies, hit the defenders, and just smash them so you get better spacing and you can just jump off the ground better. The rebound's got to get better. Your defense is good today, but your shooting's definitely going to get better because you can't shoot this poor from the field all game long. The Raptors got to shoot the ball with confidence. VanVleet, Serge Ibaka's got to hit those mid-range shots when he gets them because that's his shot. He's got to be more consistent. Even those little hooks in the lane when VanVleet set him up a couple times, he's got to knock those down. But the rest of the shooters, Danny Green, you gotta knock down those shots, man. You're wide open. Believe in your shot. You got this, man. I believe in you. And Mr. Bet on yourself. I'm betting on you to have another solid game defensively, but offensively, I expect a little better because you are a good player and a sixth-man finalist last year. So I expect more from you. Otherwise, the Raptors did a solid job. Nick Nurse, great coaching, great adjustments. Pascal Siakam on Eric Bledsoe as well with another adjustment he threw in there, and saved Kyle Lowry so he didn't have to exert as much energy because he was guarding Mirotic, which is better just guarding a spot-up shooter. But the Raptors did a great adjustment. Now it's up to Game 4 to see what happens. Kawhi Leonard played a career-high 52 minutes. He was fantastic. But it's going to be a tough test because everybody played tons of minutes. It's going to be interesting to see how well they're doing. Kawhi Leonard did come up hobbling a couple times and didn't look like he was 100%. He was asked if he was 100% by Kristen Ludlow of TNT, and he said, everybody's hurt, you just got to fight through, and that's what he was doing. As soon as he got to the bench, Kyle Lowry runs and gives him some heat pads and makes sure he's 100% going into the game, or the best he can be. So everybody's understanding that Kawhi Leonard is carrying this team, and the Raptors definitely need him, and he was great tonight. Until next time, guys, Game 4, let's get it. Peace. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the Raptors Wrap Up. Smash that like button, guys. Until next time. Deuces.